contingency plan. Contingency plan means a response to each risk, tabletop and simulation, and general rehearsal. I show you what we call the risk register. I don't know if you are able to read what it is written. On the first column, you have the functional area. In this case, is accommodation. You have the 3 nodes, frequency and impact. So the 2 nodes, sorry, frequency and impact. 3 by 5 is 15, so it's not a good risk. Here you find the person in charge of the risk within the organizing committee. This example is coming from Torok, which is Turin 2006. So this person is in charge of the risk. It is a person within the organization. And we have also the other functional area which are connected with accommodation and which are also linked with the risk we developed here. So, as I told you, for Beijing, it was a job, we have done this job between 700 and 750 different risks. The risk assessment is identification, and also it is an analysis of financial and technical impact of each risk. It's very important to show to the organizing committee that this risk is not with us for fun. It is really could be a big problem, and we have to make a real technical impact analysis and financial analysis in order to explain to the organizing committee what is the real impact of the risk. And we have to find a solution in order to avoid that the risk take place. The contingency planning is to compile a list of major incident or accident, and for each project we have to create a team to develop a contingency plan, which is response to the risk. We have also, in this case, to analyze the role of the main operation center. You know that in all events like the Universiade or like the Olympics, you have a main operation center with the center of the operation and with the person who are able to take decision when it is necessary to take a decision. And we have to test how the main operation center, the MOC, is able to respond in case of a problem. And we have to test the efficiency of each plan. Tabletop and simulation is a very important phase of our job because it's important to train the team on real case studies. What is important in this slide, je pense que je vais pas y arriver. What is important on this slide is the green part. 80% of the risk of interruption of an event is due to normal situation, and only 20% of the risk of interruption is due to real crisis situation. So the training on real case is really very important, in particular for the risk of interruption on normal situation. And we gave to all the functional area teams, we gave example, we gave scenario, and we wait the answer until we obtain the right answer. The general rehearsal is the only group in which we have the possibility to have the people from internal side, which means from the organizing committee, and people from the external side. So it means police, fire brigade, army, emergency services, medical people outside of the organizing committee. And it's also, during the general rehearsal, the only moment where we can test the reaction of the main operation center in case of fraud. So we are able to check the command chain, and to have the true reality in case of problem. So this slide is just to show you in one slide everything we have to do in terms of risk management, from the risk identification to the event continuity plan, including insurance, but this is another story. Another part of the risk management is the contract analysis and review, what we call the legal risk. And to give you an example, in Atlanta 1996, the organizing committee signed 7,000 contracts. 7,000 contracts. All these contracts were analyzed before they were signed, and it was a long job. 2% of my team were working full time, 2 years only to analyze the contract on a liability standpoint and the insurance standpoint. The contracts were not written by my team; it was written by the lawyer. But just to check the insurance problem and the liability problem, it was necessary 2 people full time during 5 years. And it's very important in the contract analysis to fix a clear and fair sharing of the liabilities between the organizing committee on one side and the contractor on the other side. And this includes a comprehensive risk review in the contract management process. It's also important to make this contract review, this contract analysis, in order to establish minimum standard of insurance. When you sign with the contractor, you have to know that it is responsible for his job, but also you have to know how he is insured, and you have to correct if it is not correctly insured. It's very important in the contract management process to have a very clear and very good link with the legal advisor of the organizing committee, with a team of lawyers and so on. And we have to integrate the contract analysis in the process of risk management. Another part of the risk management is the claims administration. Even if you have a fantastic risk management, you will have claims during the event. It is impossible to organize an event with 5,000 athletes, for example, without claims. And also, if you have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million tickets to sell, which means 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million spectators, you will have claims. So how to manage claims? We have 5 very important points, which are the claim victim leaves the venue very, very quickly. If you take the example of the Olympics, for example, we know that the spectator or the athlete does not stay in the country more than 3 or 4 days after the event or after the closing ceremony. Another problem is the fact that the claims take place in an incredible number of different sites. The stadiums, the main operation center, the main press center, the TV broadcast center, and so on. So you have an incredible number of areas in which you can have a claim. Also, another particularity of the management, of the risk management of sport, is the fact that a lot of different groups can suffer a loss. You have the spectators, you have the athletes, you have the volunteers, you have the army, you have the police, the fire people, and so on. So you have an incredible number of people who can suffer a loss, which represent, for the Olympic Games, for example, more than, excluding spectators, more than 300,000 people. If you include the spectator, it's more than 3 or 4 or 5 million people. Because you have concentration of people, in particular in the stadiums, you have a real risk of catastrophic loss. So it's very important to keep that in mind. And also you have the possibility to have non-insured loss because they are, for example, they are not covered by the insurance program, or because they are in the deductible of the program. It is not because you are not insured that you are not responsible. So you have to manage also this type of claims. For the claims administration, what it is really, our motto is we have to go very, very quickly. Prompt handling is really mandatory. And it's the reason why we always have a centralized insurance and incident management team closely connected to the site with the telephone, with the fax, with the email, and so on. And also another problem is the fact that the confidentiality of the information is critical. So we have to be very well protected in order to avoid any breach of confidentiality. And what is really important to remember for the claims administration is the fact that we have a lot of claims, not before the event, not during the event, but after the event. During the dismantling period is an incredible period of time in which you have an incredible number of claims of what we call mysterious disappearance. So something disappeared and nobody knows why, and nobody knows who. And the last part of the risk management is the loss prevention and control. So we have to make a real risk analysis for every and each new buildings and development project, and we have to implement an assessment of protection system. It means that we have to be really connected with all the new technical systems like deluge system, like sprinkler, like anti-intrusion system, and so on. So it's very important to audit permanently this protection system in order to be sure that during the event the technical system will work correctly. And also what is important is the daily surveillance of venues and implementation of corrective measures. This is also a permanent job to do. This type of job has to be done by specialized engineers capable to act quickly during the events, because this job is not only before the event but also during the events, and because we need an immediate action in case of accident or incident. Well, thank you very much for your attention.